Hi guys, and welcome to the Digital Vision Board Workshop. I'm Angela Wills. If you haven't met me yet, nice to meet you and welcome. So this is the Digital Vision Board Workshop. So what I want to do today is just share some tips and advice and info with you about digital vision boards and do a demo, take your questions, and then go from there. You know, this is not going to be a super long session. I'm thinking 20 to 30 minutes, maybe a little bit longer, but not too much longer than 30 minutes, so that you set aside some time to be here. But what I think is most key for you to do is also use that time to create a digital vision board for yourself, so that you can use that to go ahead and motivate and inspire you to achieve your goals. So that is what this workshop is about, and I'll give you the summary. It's up above in the chat area. There's a summary of what we're going to cover here in this session, but I'll just let you know what it is. The first thing I want to talk about is what a vision board is. So if you're not even sure what that means, this is the place to be right now once I start talking about that. And then I'm going to share with you why vision boards work, or why I think they work. It's not a science, but it is very awesome. So then I'm going to talk about tools and materials, and as well I'm going to talk about a demo, or not talk about a demo, I'm going to demo with you how I use PicMonkey to create my vision boards. So it's really, if you've never been to any of my training before, there's no PowerPoint. That's not really how I operate. And so I'm usually very casual, very open, very just kind of sharing what works for me, what's going on, what do I use, what do I do. That's where my skill set lies, and that's what I tend to do on these types of sessions. So if that works for you, you are in the right place. And I see that we do have a number of people here. So say hey, say hi. Another thing, if you haven't been to any of my sessions before, to know is that I love interaction. When I can interact with you, find out what's going on with you and what you think, what you're getting stuck on, what makes sense to you, what doesn't, that helps me make sure that our workshops are awesome. So if you can post a comment now to say hi and where you're from, that will let me know who's here and what's going on. I am using Be Live and I'm just learning it, but I do see that there are 9 people here, which is awesome. So I just see a comment coming in from and I'm not, I think, Marona. I'm not positive how to say your name, but you said hi, Angela. Awesome. So go ahead and post in the comments, say hey, say where you're from. I'd love to hear from you guys so that I can know that, there are people here, and I would just like to hear from you. That would be awesome. So Jan, hi from Indy. Awesome. Netherlands is where Marona. I'm going to try various ways to say your name, but that's awesome. So hi, Nicole from Ontario. And of course, I know Nicole. I know a number of people so far. Laura, hi, excited to be here from Wisconsin. This is the last thing on the docket for the day. Awesome. Happy Friday, everybody. Yeah, awesome that we get to do this. And vision boards are awesome. So one thing I want to do before I get going is just share with you a quote from someone who did the vision boards last year from me, learned how to create them from one of my workshops last year. So this is Avery Wilmer, and her site is sparklecontent.com. And she wrote, OMG, I did a vision board for 2017 as part of your challenge, and I crushed every goal I set. I grew my mailing list, lost 20 pounds, and started earning a steady 1K plus. I had another goal on there to write 2 novels. I pivoted and wrote 2 ebooks instead, so I'm still counting that as a win. Before your challenge, I had no idea how powerful a vision board could be. Now I know, and I can't wait to dream up a beautiful 2018. That just made my day to hear that from her. And let me go ahead and actually share my screen with you, so that you can see that as well. Once I go ahead and, so right now you're actually seeing, the Be Live screen. Let me pop over to the digital vision board. There we go. So this is what she posted to me. She replied via email to me. She sent me this, and I have got it on the Digital Vision Board Workshop page here. And so what I want to do is actually kind of run down this in a moment. Actually, let me tell you what I'm going to do. We're going to talk about what a vision board is. And so I'm going to run down here right now, share with you that these are the templates that you can get in the download. So if you haven't been into the customer area where you would have gotten a link to in the email that says, you know, that you're a customer, thank you for your purchase, that should be one of the first emails you got from me. If you didn't get it, I'll post the link in the comments afterwards and make sure that you have a link to that. So you can log in there, and these are the templates that you have. So those are the ones you can use to create a vision board. And then you can use these as a couple of examples. This is my vision board from, I think, 2013. And then I have one from last year as well. So this one was pretty simple, but I mean, they don't need to be super complicated. And the other one was pretty simple as well, although I had a few more pictures on there. But let's talk about what a vision board is. And for that, I'm going to come back in the group and stop sharing. So I'm playing around with this Be Live to see how it works here. But I like that I can see the comments. So when I am back in this room here, I can see your comments. So we've had welcomes from Marona, Jan, Laura, Nicole, Ruth from Peterborough, Jenny from Texas, Kristen, hey Kristen from Illinois, Marjorie from Manchester, Martha from Tennessee, Margie from Curacao? I don't know how to say that. Alyssa from Mississippi, awesome, awesome, awesome. Okay. What is a vision board? A vision board is a layout of your goals in visual format. So what you want to do is think about, you know, what do you want to achieve over the next year, 2 years, 3 years? The vision board doesn't have to be repeated yearly. It can be. I like to update it just to kind of check on my goals, see how it's going. Sometimes you might create a vision board and then just kind of forget about it and leave it for 10 years and come across it, and you might be really surprised to find how much stuff you actually achieved. Now, what's really interesting is I made a vision board many, many years ago, and I wish I could find it, but one thing I do remember I put on there was a trip to China, which wasn't my goal. Funny enough, like my parents were working in China and they wanted us to come visit, so I kind of tried to make it my goal to, because it would be nice that my parents got us to come with my son. Shoot, they wanted my son to be there. They thought it was like a neat trip for us, and it didn't happen because I wasn't excited enough about it. I'm actually, especially at that time, it was quite a few years ago, not an avid, you know, active, excited traveler. I'm finally starting to get more interested in travel, so that's actually going to go on my vision board this time, but it hasn't been on my vision board previous to that. So let me just have a peek at the last one. See, the two that I just showed you that are on the website, on the sign up page that you went to, don't have travel on it, and that there's a reason for that. I just wasn't interested. And so you want to put on your vision board things that you're excited about, things that you're passionate about. And I did a video a few days ago saying feel the feels is what it was. Your tip number one for creating a vision board. It was feel the feels, because you need to feel passion, inspired, empowered, activated to go after those goals based on what you see on your vision board. So why do they work? You know, that was what they are, but why do they work? And like I said, this is my opinion on why they work and why I do them. But I've been working on mindset now for a couple of years, and one thing I know for sure is that, you know, what you believe is going to be achievable. If you don't even think it's possible, it is not going to happen, because you are going to take actions to prove yourself right. And so by creating a vision board, you are believing in your dreams. You are believing in what's possible for you. And that is really, really, really key, because, you know, when there was a point not too long ago, we only bought our house 5 years ago, and up until, you know, very, very shortly before we purchased our first home, we didn't believe we could do it. We just didn't think we made enough money. We didn't have down payments set aside. We weren't savers. We weren't great with money. I mean, that's just the reality of it. And we just didn't think that a house was even doable for us anytime in the near future. But situations came up where we needed to move, and so we decided that we were going to go rent. And I just had a friend say, hey, just check it out. Just check it out. Because what happens is, when you don't believe and you don't set that mindset, don't set that vision for yourself, which I could have done, you know, on that vision board 10 years previous, but it just never allowed the belief in it. I took action to avoid making that happen, right? Like, I didn't even go check it out until my friend was convinced I needed to, and she convinced me. So if not for her, we may not have bought, and it's been over 5 years now, more like 5.5. We may never have bought our own first home. Plus, being an entrepreneur, I just assumed it was too hard. I assumed it wouldn't be possible. So even when, you know, I was earning more and business was growing, and we were at the point where possibly income-wise it would be possible, I still thought, you know, so you never assume. And that's what a vision board can help you do. It can help you, even year by year, decide that whatever you want is available to you. You have to go after it, and you have to put it in your mind's eye. You have to put it in your vision, not only eye vision, but your mindset. And that's why I think it works, because you then are open to the possibility of it happening. And that sometimes is the most important part, because if you're just internally disbelieving that this is going to happen for you, then you will take the action steps to make sure it doesn't. Like, you will just avoid it happening for you. You just won't do the things you need to do. So that's why, and it's so important. So just reading some comments, because as I said, I love the interaction of a group, because it really just lets me know, you know, how am I serving you? How am I keeping on track with this? So Denny said you have to go for lunch, but we'll come back for the replay. Awesome, awesome. So Elizabeth, you struggle with mindset. A lot of people do. Is a constant work in progress. So it's a constant adjustment and adaptment. I would say to avoid saying things like I struggle with anything, because again, that's a mindset. And you know, clearly you said you are struggling with it, and you have struggled with it, but try to reframe that in any way you can. Like, say, I am working on mindset, because that is more of an open invitation for your mind to believe that you can have a better mindset. So the words you say matter, the things you put down on paper matter. And so I would challenge you to remove all of the things in your vocabulary that indicate that you can't do this. And that's for you, Alyssa, and for anybody who's listening. All right, let's keep going with this. The tools and materials. So really simply, I create my vision boards with a nice background photo, background image, and the tool for that I've been using lately. I didn't use it last year, but lately I've been using unsplash.com. It's a really, really nice site for stock photos, and those stock photos you could actually use in e-covers, and if you're selling the product, which, you know, that's not what this is about, but they have on like open rights. Check the rights on them, but you can use them for a lot of different things, and we don't really need to worry too much about that, because we're just using these for our own personal use. But I use Unsplash for a bunch of different things, and that's a good site to go to. So I'm gonna show you that in a second when I do the demo. And then PicMonkey is the site that I use for my own graphics, and so I'll be using that today just to demo you. So the demo is going to be pretty quick, pretty easy. I'm just going to show you a little bit around PicMonkey and show you where I go to Unsplash and grab an image, and then I'll compare that against the templates that I have, because you can definitely just go for using the templates, pop a few images in, pop a few graphics on, and you're done. So you can create your vision board really quickly. Or you can take a little bit more time and use an image that you grab. But either way, it's going to be pretty quick. So one of the things I'm just checking out here, just give me 1 second, is the chat box. Oh, team chat. That's not what I meant to do. So I'm just checking out the BeLive board I'm using to see if I can pop the chat out of here so that when I do screen share, I can see your chats. But what I'll probably have to do is just come back in for chat after. No, I haven't screen shared yet, Val, but I'm just about to. So we're just going to get to that. We just we're doing the demo now, so there wasn't anything to actually screen share with you. I came back in and took it off, so it's working pretty smoothly. Actually, this is the software I've been using before, or I haven't used before. So I'm going to add the screen sharing, and I don't want my picture so big. There we go. All right. This is Unsplash. So with Unsplash, what you can do is just grab some images. And there's lots of beautiful stuff here. I don't even think I really need to search. I actually kind of really like this one. So again, feel the feels. That was my first tip, was to feel the feels. And the reason for that is, you know, we're driven by emotion. We're driven. That's why you're invited in most business training. You're invited to determine your why. You know, why are you doing this? What is the drive? And here's something to note. I did an interview today, and it was a great interview. I just really loved it, and I will share that with you guys when it's out. It'll be out in December. But one of the things she asked me was, you know, how do you? I talked about determination in the interview, and one of the questions she asked me was, how do you advise people stay determined or find their determination? And I think that's just like so important. And for me, you know, the drive was to have the freedom, and that is an emotional issue. That is an emotional topic. It's about being able to do whatever I want to do. And it started with, you know, wanting to go to my son's Christmas concert and not knowing if I could go when I was working at a factory job, and the balance of my being able to attend this like once in a lifetime event for my son was whether or not a coworker said yes or no. And so that's emotionally driven. And so you want to find things that are emotionally driven. And this one I like because I love water, but also reminds me of Newfoundland, which is my home, where I was born. And so I might just grab that one. You know, I tend to be just, I don't overthink it. You know, if that one calls to me, and it has, and now I'm talking about it, I'm not even going to find the need to search for more. I would suggest you don't take like a super long time, because our goal is to get this going, but you're going to be using it for a year. So up to you how much time you want to use picking a picture. But if one speaks to you, I say go for it. So I'm just going to call this Vision. Save that to my computer. Pop back in here to see. Can you guys see now? Are you seeing my screen now? It looks like from the broadcast that you can. So what I'm learning now is that my laptop might not be enough for something like this, because when I want to see your chat, I have to come back into the screen. Next time, I will do something a little different. All right, so that's downloaded, and what I will do then is just kind of upload it right into PicMonkey. We'll go here and go to my computer. So when you go to picmonkey.com, how many people have used this tool? Let me know if you've used it before. And I know where I can read your comments right on my phone, so then I don't have to worry about it. So let me just do that real quick. I'm going to load up the vision board group, and then I can see what you're saying through my own phone on the comments here. Watching my own Facebook Live, but I'll make sure I mute it. So last thing I asked was if you guys can see, and Nicole, you said you can see. Val, you can't see. So Val, you're not seeing my screen, but Nicole is. That's odd. Anybody else? Anybody else? Can you guys see my screen? Let me know. I see that there's 10 people in here today so far. Can you guys pop a comment in to let me know if you can see the screen? I can see my screen, so I believe that should be working here now. Okay, thank you, Val. I just didn't want to go ahead if nobody else could see it. Okay, cool. So yeah, PicMonkey, real easy to use. You go to picmonkey.com, and then I will load this in. Okay, good. You guys can see. Perfect. All right. Now, what I would suggest you do while you're here and while you're watching is just start jotting down some of the things that you could add to your own vision board. So you'll see right here, Angela's vision for 2017. So you want to start with a list and start writing down some things that you would like to have for your year. And really, I don't stress over how to make this perfect. I just write down what comes to mind. And like I said, travel comes to mind for me this year. And what I did and what I tend to do is just pull from my own pictures. I just find that it's just so much more emotionally charged if I'm pulling from my own stuff. So you can see here my own pictures. The year before I did mostly like stock photos, but see there's not, it's not an emotional attachment to any of this stuff unless like I put a tidy house, a home office, and I wanted like a spotless house, so I found a picture of that. Or, spa, if there's something you don't necessarily have a picture of, you could use stock photos and go from there. So when I pull that in, perfect. It's the perfect size. But if it's not the perfect size, you can definitely use the crop tool and just crop it to, I think I would like it to be a landscape size. Now, that being said, if you think about how you're going to use this, do you want it to be landscape or do you want to make it like a portrait? Yeah, it's portrait, right? So if you want to make a portrait, you can crop it this way. And I think what I'm going to do is keep it landscape. And the reason I'm even questioning that is if you are going to go ahead and put it on your computer background, on your phone, you want to know how is it going to show up, right? How are you going to view this? And so when I put it on my phone, it's going to be turned, but that's okay. I'm okay with that because otherwise I would have to think about, okay, well, do I want to make it long? And then it's going to be not fitting on my desktop. So because your desktop's this way and your phone is this way, you're going to have to pick one. To me, it makes sense to be landscape. So what I have suggested is put it on your desktop background, put it on your computer or on your phone, print it out. You can hang it in your office. You can also put it in a binder if you have like a planner, keep it with you. And so that makes it, very, very visual in front of you all year long. So Val, you're asking, can you hide the Digital Vision Board Workshop banner? It is large and hides part of your screen share. Sure I can. I'm sure I can. There we go. It just helps to people in the group see what we're doing and see that it is the workshop going on, but I think that we're good for now with people in here. So there's not too much to see at the bottom of the screen, and I'll scroll up, but if you can't see anything, you can always just ask me, and I will definitely make sure we zoom in on that. All right, so this is really simple. What you want to do is just go ahead and import your pictures. And I don't have any loaded up or saved right now, so I'm going to work on this a little bit more later. But if you go to the option for overlays, click on that. And once you click on that, click add your own. So here is where I'm just going to show you some of the tools you can use to pull in a vision board. Here's one of my daughter, although I'm not sure exactly what I'm going to, well, always time with my kids. So I'd put, you know, this is her at the grocery store. She's having a very happy day. And then you want to size it down. So once you have your list, you'll know how many things, but it's super easy to just kind of edit the layers, tilt this here. So you can even just start throwing up. If you don't have your list, you could start throwing up images. There's no right or wrong here. This is totally kind of go ahead and make your vision board and make it work for you, right? So if I go ahead and add this here, one of the things that I want to do to make it kind of nicer, or like obviously a picture on top of a picture doesn't look the most amazing. So I could go to hearts. I could go to, and this is still in the overlays section. Now, some of these, depending on what account you have, some of these might be paid, but mine are all included. But you could even just do geometric if you keep it simple. I'm not sure if hearts are within the free or the paid, but if I wanted to just do circles, easy peasy. Can't believe I just said easy peasy, but you just pull this over top, and you can do anything, circle, squares, whatever, and then right click, send to back, and then you've got that over top there. And if you want to, you know, you can soften it. I think that a circle on top of a square doesn't necessarily fit the best, so I would probably rework that again. But you can go with eraser and then make a bigger size and play around with it. See what you can do here. But I think probably what I would do, just design wise, let's not do that. But this is just showing you some tools. But that doesn't look good. But you can certainly erase stuff if it fits for your board. This is just more design stuff once you're finished playing around. Once you're finished, you know, working on it. If you go with rectangle, like you can resize it in different shapes, or you could just pick a square and then you could pick rounded rectangle. So putting these over under, let me delete a couple. Click on it, click delete. Click on it, click delete. Checking your comments here. And then go ahead and use that as, you know, just a border background. It doesn't have to be black. You can change it to any color you want. Super quick moving this around. Shoot that to the back. Click send to back. And, you know, that gives it a bit more. And still I'd line it up. And what I would do, just for fun, I'd probably pick a color that's closer to like the brown or the green in the picture itself, just to kind of make it. And then you could do that, pick some different colors, and then go ahead and use that, either the same color or various colors, whatever design looks good to you, makes you feel good about this vision board. And that's the basics of pulling in a picture. And then if we want to go ahead and look at what I put here, and you can use any fonts, you can use any quotes, and as you know, my templates have a quote and a title, like it says never stop dreaming, and if it doesn't challenge you, it won't change you. It's on all of them. And then you can just pop your pictures on top of these things here. You know, just added them for a theme and a decorative look. And you can see here I had some other backgrounds in these for that vision board. So play around with PicMonkey and what looks good to you. And then finally, the only other thing you would add is to go ahead and add your text. So I'm a big fan of Just Another Friend, I think it's called. Let me give me 1 second and it'll pop up. I think it's called Just Another Friend. That's the text, the font name that I use fairly often, and I use it as part of my branding. Just Another Hand. I don't know why I called it Just Another Friend. So instead of a title, you know, a more general title, for this one I'd probably put or maybe think of something a little more romantic or motivating or inspiring in some way. You know, as you work on this, you can take a little time. Now, if you don't have a paid version of PicMonkey, you won't be able to save it. So you'll have to create your vision board all in one go, or, well, you can save it. Sorry, that's my mistake. You will be able to save it, but you won't be able to come back and remove the font or edit the font or change it in that way. So if you pay for it, it's like $40 a year, I think. And then what you can do is save it in your hub. So if you haven't used the hub before, you save it and then you can edit the different layers. So if you wanted to switch out a picture, if you wanted to change things like that, you could go ahead and do that if you save it to your hub. If you don't save it to your hub, then you'll have to download it as is, and then you won't be able to change the text or anything. So that's something to be aware of. And so then I would just, you know, under each thing, I would put, you know, I put maybe what I want for my kids is dates with outings with each kid. I don't like the word kid, but I'm not thinking of anything better to say right there at this point. But you know, I put a picture of my son who's 15, and it's much harder to figure out a good outing with him. So it's something that could be a bit of a challenge, and it's certainly okay to put challenges on your vision boards. Now this one, this picture, something else to note of pretty important info if you want to be printing, is that this picture is fairly large. I don't know the size. If I go over to the first tab here in PicMonkey, the very top, and go to resize, it will show me that it is 3,318 pixels, and that's what it pulled in from Unsplash, and that's a large image. So just to compare for you, when you pull an image onto your computer that's about 1,000 pixels, like the width of a website is close to 1,000 pixels on like a regular 15-inch screen laptop or something. 1,000 is kind of a decent sized image. So 3,000 is quite big, and having a big image is better for printing. So instead of sizing it down, I would work on it in a large size, which means your fonts are going to be big and you're going to need big pictures. But if you're pulling your pictures off like your computer or your camera, I mean, most cameras do images that are around 3,000, so you should be okay. But if you're wondering what's going on, you're pulling in pictures that are only like 500 and then you're trying to stretch them up, they're going to look not as good. So that's something to be aware of, and that's why this looks kind of a little bit like choppy. If I size it up to like the proper size, so like at 100%, which is going to make everything really big, you can see the text is not choppy. It's just choppy because it's sized it down so that we can see it all in one screen. So I am just checking here on your comments. So Laura said, I'm doing mine in Google Slides since I don't use PicMonkey and am not sitting at my graphic design computer. Yeah, and you can do it in anything. And the most important things to remember are that this is your vision of what you want to create for the next year or a few years, and really think about what's important to you and what you can move forward on and what you can really achieve. And don't let anything, you know, this is not the place or the time to put restrictions on what you can achieve in your life. This is for you. This is for you to get inspired, to get motivated, to get taking action. You know, none of this is going to happen without that action, and none of this is going to help you move forward without you actually moving the pin, moving the dial to actually, you know, do the things that need to happen. So obviously outings with each kid again comes down to planning, and I've been talking a lot about planning lately, but it comes down to me putting dates on the calendars and saying, okay, well, how can we make a special day? And maybe it's just a once a year thing. I was just listening to a book about essentialism, and one of the stories in the book was about a father and daughter who once a year they had like this big day. And you know, that would be awesome for me to just do that even just once a year with my kids, but it had to be planned and really thought out. And think about, you know, my son is a 15-year-old teen boy. Well, what would be something that he would enjoy, and what can we think about that and do that? I mean, this is not a big business goal. It's an important family goal. So all of these kind of things go on this vision board because it's a vision board for you, your life, and your lifestyle. So that is exciting. I think it's super exciting to know that you can really create your life. And I think there's a point in time in a lot of people's lives where we are misled into believing that life is just happening, right? And we don't have any kind of control over it. But that's what is so exciting about a vision board. It's the realization and the taking action on that realization that life isn't just happening to us. Like, it's a result of the decisions we're making. And by intentionally putting out your intent to what you're going to create, you're really calling that into play, because now you can see what actions you need to take to make it happen. And so it is something that I think is so important. And I, for one, will be filling that vision board out and printing it out. I'm going to put it on my computer. I'm going to put it on my phone, and I'm going to put it in my planner. I'm going to tape it in. I've got a planner I'm just working on, and I have never done this in a long time. I haven't done like paper planners, but I'm actually working on one with sheets that work for me, and then I'm going to be giving those away as part of the business planning workshops that I'm doing coming up. So I want to see if you guys have any questions, and I guess I don't have to check my phone now because I've gone back in and I'm not screen sharing. So those were the things I wanted to cover today in the workshop. And like I said, didn't want to keep it too long. I want to just give you guys some of this info and share with you how I do it. You can do it in anything. I don't know Google Slide, but hey, do whatever tool you have that works. You know, some people can create graphics. I think it's in some people create graphics in PowerPoint, and there's whatever tool you're using, whatever tool makes sense to you, and you can certainly use PowerPoint. Hey, if you don't like PicMonkey or you don't know it well enough, but you know PowerPoint well, that would be great to use to create a vision board too, right? Because you can just pull in images, use the text, move it around, anything that works for you to create this vision board. Did you guys have any questions for me? Just want to double check what I put that I wanted to cover here. If there are no other questions, I would just encourage you to take any time that you've planned for this session. And like I said, I only wanted to go about 30 minutes, so we're just a little bit over. But I would encourage you to take this time and then just work on that vision board and then pop it into the chat. I would love to see your vision boards when they're created, when they're finished. And tell us what you're going to do with them. Where are you going to put them? What actions are you going to take to make them happen? And if you want to know your next step after doing the vision boards, I actually did a video, and I will have to see. I think I'll probably download it because it's in my other group, the Laptop Lifestyle Business Woman. If you want to go there and join that group, you can see it in there, but I'll probably download it and then upload it again, telling you these 3 steps. Oops, here we go. 3 steps that I recommend you do to plan out a really awesome 2018. Now that video, it's completely free. It gives you the information about these 3 steps, but also I have a business planning workshops that I'm going to go into these steps in more detail. And in these workshops, I'm going to be sharing with you a lot more training and info, and showing you kind of what I create as well and how I do it. There's 3 different ones. There's one called the Life Wheel Planning Workshop, and so this one is actually where you create a life wheel, and I've got some tips and advice for you on that, and pictures and all kinds of good stuff. And then there is one about setting your money goals, and I tell you how important it is to figure that stuff out with some math, but good math you're going to love because it's going to help you with your business. And then the third one is sticky notes. So we use sticky notes and we use calendars, and we plan out, you know, a year, although you don't have to plan out the full year. It's just getting like a bird's eye view of your year and then planning stuff out so that you can really see what's coming up. Like if you want a vacation, so this is part of your lifestyle business. If you want a vacation in July, you put that on your calendar and you start really understanding, you know, what needs to happen to make that happen for you, so that July just doesn't arrive and you haven't planned for it time-wise to take off your business and all of that. But in the meantime, we focus in closer, like a month, maybe 3 months, and plan that out as well. So those workshops are all about planning. They're actually free for club members. So if you wanted to be a club member, it's only $18.50 for the first month. So I wanted to share that with you guys. But this is not, I don't want to go on and on about that. If you have any questions about it, let me know. And if you have any questions about your vision board, I'm here. I'll be in the group. I want to help you do that. I want to hear from you, see what you're working on, see your vision boards, and go from there. So you guys let me know who's going to be working on their vision board like now. Pop a comment in and let me know when you're going to work on your vision board. So that will help you stick and be accountable. So if you want to be accountable, post now before we wrap up, because I'd love to help keep you accountable. So who's going to work on your vision board? Pop a comment in and let me know. And that's why you came here, right? So I'm hoping everybody's going to pop a comment in and say, hey, I'm working on it now, or I'm working on it and I'll have it done by next week. Pop a comment and let me know how we can keep you accountable to this. You're welcome, Martha. So Laura, are you working on your vision board? Val, Jan, Ruth, Alyssa, Nicole. Who else have we got in here? Kristen, Denny, I know you're watching the replay. Laura Lee, Jan. Pop a comment in and tell me when you're working on it. Would love to hear about it and see it. Okay, Martha, you're thinking about yours tonight. Alyssa, you have until 3 to work on it. Awesome, awesome, awesome. So if you guys want to share your vision board, if you want to share you got it done, whatever you want to share, come on into the group. I would love to hear from you again, see how it's going. If you have any questions about, you know, any tools you need to create it, let me know. I'll share anything that I can with you that can help you get this done. And I'll pop mine in too. So I'll be accountable too. I'm going to work on it over the weekend, and I'll have mine done by Monday. So I don't know that I have a whole lot of time left. I got a bunch of other things to do today, and I've been talking a lot today. I had an interview and I did video. So I need a little break, and I've got my coffee. Tim Hortons, because Canada. So backwards with the video, always going in the backwards direction. I'm gonna have my coffee, take a break, and then I will work on it over the weekend and have it posted. I'm gonna post mine for you guys to see by Monday. So there's my accountability as well. So thank you guys so much for being here. I hope you use those vision boards, pop them in front of you wherever you can, and get those dreams achieved, get this lifestyle set. I hope you can join us in the business planning workshops in the club. The club's the best deal. If you don't join the club, you can get them for $67, and I put coupon codes. But I hope you can join us, because if you join us in the club, it's an awesome group. So you won't be sorry, especially if you join for $18.50. It is not too much. All right, let me know if you have any questions about any of it, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye, guys. Thanks so much again for being here. Bye.